Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for the 2022 NFL mock draft for the Las Vegas Raiders, guys. And so that's right. We're going to be bringing the Raiders to greatness here. You know, just win, baby, win. We're going to figure out the best way to go about that. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing my own version here of the mock draft here. But of course, as always, I do want to hear from you guys because obviously there's going to be some picks, guys, that you guys are probably going to disagree with, some that you're probably going to agree with. So let me know the picks that you do like, along with what route you would have taken differently, stuff like that. But as always, I do want to hear feedback from you guys. But let's go ahead and start talking about the Raiders real quickly in terms of what this offseason means. In order to talk about that, we got to talk about last season. Last season, the Raiders got off to a hot start there. They were definitely surprised team in which how they came out on fire there. I remember they beat the Ravens on opening night there on Monday Night Football. And so from there, I mean, it was just fantastic seeing the Raiders, early on in the season. And then, all of a sudden, things started happening. They started losing personnel and stuff like that. It was just a lot of chaos that was happening there. Darren Waller was in and out of the lineup with injuries, but Derek Carr, he came up strong for this team. Him, Josh Jacobs, guys like that, they performed. Hunter Renfrow, all of those guys, they performed there. And so definitely for the Raiders, they had a strong finish to the season in terms of getting to the playoffs, in which they had a thriller of a win against the Chargers there in a very great game that, going to overtime there and then winning by a field goal in OT. That was great. But some of the things that happened, obviously, they didn't stick with the interim head coach there. They're going in a different direction there and bringing Josh McDaniels. So Josh McDaniels, probably not the most unpopular hire. Not going to lie. I've watched this man about 9 seasons with the Patriots. And so obviously, first thing that comes to mind, worked with Tom Brady and also, up under Bill Belichick, for quite some time there. But we've seen what happened with other coaches that have done similar things, honestly. So beyond that, though, I will say this. He does have this up under his resume. Did lead a Tim Tebow-led team along with Ricky Mac Jones-led team to the playoffs. So he does have that going for him. Last year, for the Patriots unit, the Raiders, they need to improve on the red zone performance. Whether we're talking offense or defense. Defense was dead lies. I'll talk about defense later on. But offensively, they were 28th in the NFL in red zone efficiency, according to Pro Football Focus. And so, yeah, that's the number that you got to improve upon. Part of that may be play selection, but what I do know is that Josh McDaniels in 2020 with the Patriots, they were ranked 24th, according to Pro Football Focus in the red zone. Meanwhile, in 2021, they were ranked 7th. That's a big jump in 1 year, especially considering, the receiving core was definitely, it was improved, but it wasn't, like top-notch in the NFL, all that stuff, and with a rookie quarterback. So able to do stuff like that, that is huge. That is huge. So Josh McDaniels, he can have that kind of impact. Another thing the Raiders probably suffered from was the fact that they passed the ball the fourth most compared to anybody else in the league. I mean, that's a lot of passes. 63% of their calls were passes. So when the defense knows they're coming, they're going to send those pass rushers back there. And with the offensive line, outside of the exception being left tackle Colton Miller, everyone else, if you can find a better upgrade, best believe, go ahead and upgrade that position if you can afford it. Go ahead and do that. But I definitely expect for him to focus heavily on the offensive and defensive lines throughout, free agency, NFL draft, all that stuff. But I feel like in free agency, though, that wide receiver position is something that you can address and get you that other receiver alongside Renfrow for the offense. So I do feel like that's something that you probably can attack throughout that. But, hey, let's go ahead and get this draft started. And let's see how the board plays out and see what picks we'll make. All right, so right off the bat, we do have some trade offers there, but both of these teams, they want me to trade up. No, that's not happening. I will decline those trades. So let's get it started, guys. So watching how the board unravels, that is going to be big here. Couple guys that I'm aiming for right off the bat, I do think D-line is certainly an area that I want to address early in this draft. I do understand that, the Raiders have like 5 guys on the defensive side of the ball defensive linemen, I should say, that, their contract's going to be expired. So you can go ahead and bring in some guys that can come in and make an impact for this team. That's going to be big. All right, so let's see. Where are we now right now at the defensive line? So there's no one there on that defensive line that I want to take in the first round. So with that being the case, Nicole Dean. I mean, the board is screaming at me to go to Nicole Dean. Now, I could go Chris Olave. I could very well take that direction as well. Kenyon Green, that's a route that I could take. I take someone like Kenyon Green, then, that's going to definitely help this offense out. I mentioned the offensive line, that's a position that it certainly can go ahead and make improvements upon. So I could take that route. I could go Trevor Penning as well. I can go George Karlaftis. I know early on in mock drafts, he was definitely going top 10. So that's certainly someone to consider there. Him, David Ajabo, those guys, Chris Olave. But I'm going to cross Chris off the list only because, guys, I feel like there's, given Josh McDaniels, he has not had a great receiver to work with to that level, over the last couple seasons in New England, and yet he can still find a way to go out there and win. And so I feel like in free agency, though, there's a good chance that you can get someone that can come in there and can be a solid 2 receiver for the Raiders. So I'm not going to take the direction of Chris Olave there. Now, Nicole Dean, given the fact that, up under Patrick Graham, that 3-4 defense, having a linebacker can come in there and just be, physical and stuff like that. I mean, that may be the route that we end up going, guys. We may end up ultimately going that route of Nicole Dean. Let me look real quick. So we could go that route. We really could go Dean, or we could go David Ajabo. Man, let me see. Now that I think about it, I could very well go that route. Let me see. I'm going to compare the two because now that I'm thinking about it here, I mean, let's just see what the scouting report says here. Okay, so all right, so came out as a junior, 6 feet, 225 pounds. Great athletic ability, good instincts. Let's see. So for Nicole Dean, I mean, this is going to be tough, guys. This is going to be really, really tough in terms of deciding between these guys. Because, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, these guys probably be off the board there. But, I mean, just his pure range at the linebacker position, I mean, we're not just talking straight line speed there. We're talking about, very quick, reacts, great reaction, elite. I mean, adding someone like this to this defense, that could be very big. Honestly, that could be really big. So let's see. Let me see if I can propose a trade and maybe move back. If I'm going to send a first-round pick this year, maybe if we can trade with the Green Bay Packers. Let's see if they can send their first, second. If we trade our future second and get them to tack on an extra 4th round pick. All right, there we go. So perfect. All right, so now I move back. We're pick 28, so I wanted to get out of that spot. So now that we move back, there are some nice options still here on the board, guys. And so looking at the board right now, let me just take a look. All right, so we don't have a guy I would have went for in that role. There are a lot of receivers here. There's a lot of receivers here. Let's see. I feel like there's a lot of linebackers later on in the draft that I could go for. But if you have a guy like Nicole Dean, I mean, But you know what? I talked about it before, So now that I move back here, I'm thinking now would probably be a good time to go guard. I might go Kenyon Green in Texas A&M. That's a position that would certainly come in there. I mean, he'll not only be, coveted for his, and this is according to Pro Football Focus here, but he'll not only be coveted for his observed movement skills for a 325-pounder, but also because he starts at every single offensive line position except center in 2021, and he did a fantastic job either tackle or guard. This is a guy that the Raiders need to have offensively there. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, a guy like Nicole Dean, that's someone that you really want as well. But, I mean, I can get a guard like this, Kenyon Green, I'll go ahead and take him. So I went guard with the first pick, guys. I know it may be extremely unpopular there, but this offensive line was ranked 28th in the NFL. So They've got the skilled players, that can come in and make a play. You improve this offensive line and a guy that can play multiple positions there. Hey, this is something in the long run. You're going to be glad that you made this pick and that you didn't pass on this guy. All right, let's see. So both of these, no, they want me to move up. That's not happening. Decline. All right, so let's start this round. All right, let's see. Looking at how this board is going. I was so close to pausing it too. I was so close to pausing it and seeing if I could trade back up once I saw what was going on, guys. All right, so where we are right now, I could very well go cornerback and go Kyler Gordon. Let's see what other cornerbacks we got available. So outside of him, I think cornerback might be the move to go, guys. Cornerback may be the route to go. Let me just check the board. All right, so Kyler Gordon, let's see. He played both outside corner and slot in the season, and according to Pro Football Focus, they gave him an 89.6 coverage grade. So the guy can play outside and he can play in the slot. And so this is what we need. Flexibility is a position that we can certainly use here for this defense. I mean, you want to play multiple schemes, make sure you bring in guys that can come in and make an impact in multiple ways. So we're going to go ahead and draft cornerback Kyler Gordon for the Raiders here in the second pick. Now, again, for corners, that they value guys that are extremely smart. And so wow, look at this. So they want me to trade my second-round pick, and in return, the Ravens are willing to give me a third. All those fourth-round picks, ultimately, I'm very tempted here. That's a lot of fourth-round picks and third-round picks there. So I'll go ahead and do it. That's a lot of picks there. It's a lot of picks to work with. So we'll go ahead and we'll trade that second one, get out of that second round there. And so there we go. So, guys, in round 2, we took Kyler Gordon, a cornerback. And why do we do that, guys? Because, quite frankly, his versatility at the cornerback position, that's going to be huge for this team there. Obviously, we don't know if Casey Howard, what he's going to do, whether he'll be back or not. But certainly having a guy like Kyler Gordon there in the secondary, I feel like compared to, just looking at the free agency class overall, if you don't get J.C. Jackson, you definitely want to make sure that you draft a kid like this and see what he becomes. All right, guys. So just to recap, so far in the first round, I went guard. I really wanted to address that offensive line there. Brought a guy that can play multiple positions there. And so who knows? We'll probably be addressing that again pretty soon. You're telling me that Jordan Davis is on the board right now? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Ooh. Let me see if I can trade up. Let me propose a trade. Who's picking first in the third? Let's see if I can get that fourth and a next year's third. Okay, so let's see if the Texans have the first in this one. They pick fourth. I need to pick first. All right, so if they don't have it, let me see the Jaguars. Okay, so since the Jaguars have that, if I offer them, let's see if I can just give them a fourth this year and a future third-round pick. Let me see. Perfect. All right, guys, so I normally don't do this, but for the first time, I saw someone that I just had to trade up to get. So, all right, guys, let's start round 3. All right, so here in the third round, a steal. I mean, an absolute steal, guys. We're talking about Jordan Davis, guys. And so, obviously, at 6'6", 360 pounds, this kid's going to come in. He's going to clog the middle. For this scheme right here, we're going to be looking for a big run stuffer inside the interior of the defensive line. Losing 5 defensive linemen, this is honestly a pick that had I known he was still on the board, I would have made it earlier, but I did not know he was still on the board there. But wow, we're drafting this kid there. So That's got to make that board look a lot better now. So, yeah, that first round guard, Kenyon Green, all the flexibility he brings. Then cornerback, Kyler Gordon. Now here in the third round, Jordan Davis. So, hey, let's see what else we can add to this. And again, we still got 2 picks here in the third round. All right, so we are on the clock, guys. So while we are here on the clock, let's see. Definitely not getting running backs. Definitely not getting tight ends. Could go linebacker. Could go linebacker. Matter of fact, let's see. Quay Walker. Let me just take a look at this linebacking core. So, yeah, we could very well go Quay Walker here, guys. And so let us see. All right, so just – but, yeah, that third-round pick has me excited, guys. If we can get a guy like Jordan Davis in the third, like, are you kidding me? I can't believe that went down like that. But you know what, guys? I'm not doing the drafting for the other teams there. That just – that blows my mind there. That blows my mind. There are some good linebackers that we can get, I feel, a little bit later on. So we can double dip. We can certainly double dip here at that position. Let's see what we got at wide receiver. So there are some receivers as well to consider. I will say that. A guy like Pickens, that's certainly someone that we can certainly consider here. Let's see, according to this board. I mean, we could go edge as well. We could very well go edge. I mean, there's a lot of places, a lot of pieces that we could go here. A lot of pieces that we could go. Let's see. Should I trade down? But let me see. Quay Walker. Okay, so 1 second. All right, so okay, so Quay Walker. Quay is, let's see what the scouting report says. Okay, so obviously coming over from UGA, he's 6'4", 240 pounds, came out as a senior. And so, I mean, the Bulldogs, we know how tough that Bulldogs defense was last year. You know, obviously a guy like Nicole Dean and stuff like that, who, you know, I mean, another tremendous linebacker that's already off the board there. But Walker, I mean, truly looks like, you know, an edge rusher playing off-ball linebacker, honestly. According to Pro Football Focus, they say there are times where you have to remind yourself how big he is because he moves exceptionally well for his size. You know, he flashes high-end explosiveness out of his stance. Smooth lateral, he can traverse gaps with ease. And once he's in positions, swallows up the run games with a large frame. And so, yeah, he has the size and athleticism to blanket tight ends off the line of scrimmage. I mean, this is all the stuff the Raiders are currently looking for, honestly, out of that position. So I think that we will go ahead and select Quay Walker from the University of Georgia, the national champions. So there we go, guys. So solid board we got. We just went back-to-back Georgia players here in the third round, guys. That's not bad, especially this year. Not bad at all. All right, so we're back on the clock, guys. So here we are in the third round here. And so looking at what we have available to us, I mean, all right, so let me take a look at this receiver, George Pickens. We might be able to get George Pickens to come in here at receiver, but let me just take a quick look at his profile real quick. Now, again, wide receiver, that's something that I'm pretty sure that in free agency, that's someone that, hey, you know, free agency may be the route that the Raiders may have to look at for this position. However, given what we've got here, I'm thinking possibly I could go that. I could very well go Zach Harrison as well. That's a position that I may potentially look at. I could look at I could go D-line again and take Mathis out of Alabama. I very well could do that. And then there's Devontae Wright. I could trade back. There's a lot of options I could take. This is a very important third round pick. Okay, so let's see at wide receiver. Okay, so all right, so if we went Pickens here, we could very well go Pickens, honestly. And so let's see. So do we go Georgia again, guys? It's 6'3", 200 pounds. I mean, let's see. All right, so they say here's what Pro Football Focus has to say about him is that at 6'3", 200 pounds, he has the ideal frame to be an impactful wide receiver in the NFL. In addition to his height, the Georgia receiver also possesses impressive length, allowing him to go for the high point of the ball. Furthermore, his combination of height, length, and athleticism has allowed him to pull off some incredible diving catches. He plays the game with intense physicality that, combined with the above attributes, make him a contested catch monster. And so, he has an impressive catch radius and exceptional ball tracking skills. And as a result, there's rarely such a thing as uncatchable pass when it comes anywhere remotely in his facility. In addition to catching ability, he displays solid athleticism as a route runner. That is big because in Josh McDaniels system, you got to be able to run some routes. Run some routes, be physical, and those are stuff that he brings to the table. He has physicality to come across the middle and underneath routes. And once the ball is in his possession, he has needs to bring down. And so, yeah, so we could go this route. We honestly could go this route. So I'm thinking, let me just take a look at all the receivers again. If we don't go that route, there are some good receivers later on as well. I mean, Calvin Austin III, that's someone to also keep an eye out for. Also, but should I go George Pickens here, or should I continue to work on this defensive line here? Let's see. I mean, we very well could go D-line again, honestly. Let me take a look and see which do I like best. I feel like this is probably the toughest pick right here at this selection, honestly. Another thing that we could do is, I know I haven't said it yet, but we could very well go safety here. Like, I feel like we honestly could go safety. All right, let's see. All right, so at safety, all right, so the guy, Vernon McKinley. So we could very well go that route out of Oregon, honestly. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, so if the Raiders feel that safety is a position that they really want to target early in this one, I mean, wow. Some of the strengths is that he's a good communicator at a pro demeanor, they say, allows quarterback eyes to show him the way, his hips and feet to match route breaks when playing over the slot, instant drive acceleration to close on throws, hits pass rushes with everything he has to knock the ball loose, excellent feel for playmaking angles to the football. He posted 11 career receptions, and 6 of those came in 2021. Terrific ball skills with very sticky hands, run the alleys. I mean, there's a lot to like about this kid. I mean, a lot to like about him. Let's see. I mean, what can I say? I do like this kid a lot. Vernon McKinley there. I do like him a lot. But given where we are, let's take a look at one more. You know what? Let's go ahead and take the safety here. Let's take a look at all the safeties there is on the board first of all. And so, because if I don't take him, then I don't feel as confident about some of the other safeties that are on the board here. So I'll go ahead and draft him. So now we went ahead and got a safety here, guys. So we went in the third round. Did not expect to come out with a safety here, but we did get a safety here. So we are making some changes here. And as you can see, defense has been the focus so far in this one. But here we go, guys. Round 4 in this one. And we've got quite a few fourth round picks coming up, guys. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. But our first pick is pick 21. So let us see how this is going to play out. Again, just to recap what we got so far. First round, we went guard. Then we got a cornerback and Kyler Gordon. You know, we got defense lineman Jordan Davis somehow in the third round. Quay Walker also in the third round as well. Safety Vernon McKinley the third out of Oregon. So we've got some pieces now. But let's see what else we can get to add on to this. All right, so we got a ton of linebackers currently on the board. A ton of linebackers. So much so, I can probably get linebacker later on, honestly. But what we can do is we can get a center here. We can get the Donovan West out of Arizona State. That's a route that we could go. And very well, I think that we will go that route. So we're going to go ahead and draft a center here out of Arizona State here in the 4th round. So we got us a center here. We're continuing to work on that offensive line here. Have not forgotten about them. And, hey, we're on the clock again. So let's see what direction we go this time. With all the linebackers that there are on the board right now, I still feel like we can get a linebacker with one of our upcoming picks here. But we can go defensive line Jordan Peavy out of Texas A&M. That's a route that we could very well go. Let's see. But there's a lot of linebackers out there that I do like so far. But we could go that route. So let's go ahead and go defensive line again. Let me just check real quick and see how I feel about this guy. All right, so Jaden Peavy. Let's see what they say about him. So, all right, so some of the strengths about him is that he has outstanding size and length, they say, gets off the ball under opponents' pads, fire his hands looking for heavy impact, offers lane clogging play style, demeanor, power to disrupt through an edge and into the backfield. Burly bottom half and long arms are made for two gapping. Okay, so those are all great stuff, and they say intriguing rush flashes on his 2020 tape. So what they're also saying in 2021, he did look a little heavier and slower in 2021. But that's something we're going to come in, bring this kid in, whip him into shape, stuff like that. But, hey, I mean, a 2-year starter with the size, length, and power at the point of attack to create excitement from evaluators heavily into the traits, according to what they said in info.com. I mean, when working with proper footwork and hand quickness, he offers glimpses of dominance and jolting blockers. This is what you want. This is what you want coming in from a guy that's 6'5", 319 pounds, came out as a senior. I mean, I like it. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draft him now. Ensure that we get another D lineman. So we went ahead and took 2 D linemen, guys. So I'm feeling much better about that position overall. So right now, I think is the perfect time for us to go ahead and we can go linebacker. We can very well go linebacker right now. Matter of fact, we've got the next 3 picks coming up, guys, so we can run this table here. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is we are going to take – let me see which linebacker – how do I feel about these linebackers? Let me take a quick look at these linebackers and see how do I feel about these linebackers. We got a lot of good ones on the board, guys. We got a lot of good ones on the board. All right, so Obviously, earlier we took Quay Walker, and so let's see who we can get in addition to him right now. And looking where we are currently right now on the board. All right, just looking at that outside linebacker spot. I mean, there's some good names here, honestly. Some very good names. Just checking my board, see where I have these guys ranked. So, all right. So, looking at who is available still. All right. So, yeah, my board tells me that I should go ahead and trust D'Angelo Malone here. And so let's see the scouting report on D'Angelo Malone. Okay. All right, so the kid from Western Kentucky. Let us see what are some of his strengths. Now he's 6'3", about 334 pounds. So a senior, so has a nice size to him. And they say a super senior decided to come back for another season to put more on film for general managers to think about. And so they say that he, bellies his toughness and play strength at the point of attack. He uses quick feet and flexible frame and usually successfully recovery balance to sink into playmaking positions into the run game. His rush is unorthodox and unprecedented. They say that he's competitive and savvy. Malone could challenge for a future starting job at a 3-4 outside linebacker and offers immediate special teams value. And so this is someone that if we're the Raiders, we want to have a kid like this. So let's go ahead and add this kid to the mix. So, all right. So we got a couple linebackers there. Hey, we went out there and we understood the assignment here so far. I think we're doing a pretty good job here. And so let's go ahead and carry on and see the rest of the way how this plays out. But hey, we're on the board right again, guys. So yeah, so let's see what else we can get here. So let's take a look at the board. We could go wide receiver now. Now it's probably a good time for us to go ahead and dip into the wide receiver pool, honestly, given everything that we see up there on the board. Calvin Austin III. This is a kid that I am pretty high on. I really like this kid right here. And so if the Raiders can go ahead and get him like I am considering doing right now, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and go Calvin here. But let me just go ahead and pull up the thing on him. All right, so we got a guy that's, hey, even though he's coming in kind of small, all right, so 5'7", 173 pounds there. I get that. But I mean, this kid, like some of the strengths, I mean, posted back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He's quick stem and release versus press. Feet are fluid and fast throughout the route. Gliding speed surpasses coverage. That's what the Raiders need. They need some speed. Impressive break and open to shake coverage on deep cornerbacks, loose hips, reads defense in scramble situations, and finds open grass. Does not play with fear despite his size. Speed to eliminate tackle angles after the catch. Jitter and go. I believe this guy is one of those diamonds in the rough where you get him late, but he comes in there and makes a huge impact. I got Calvin Austin III, guys, being drafted. Let's go ahead and make that happen. But we still got one more pick, guys. We've got one more pick on this board, guys. And so what do we do here in the fourth round, guys? So we can definitely let's see what's on the board right now at cornerback right now. So okay, so a lot of these guys will probably be later on, honestly. What about edge? Okay, I'm not too happy with how that's going right now in that regards. But hey, I'm pretty happy so far with how the draft has gone so far in this one. We've got 2 linebackers out of this one already. We could very well go ahead and go another receiver. And so right now, I'll go ahead and draft right. Let's see. Should I go Slade Bolden? Let's go ahead and see what they say about Slade Bolden. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go wide receiver again. All right, let's see. All right, so Slade Bolden. Let's see what they have to say about him. So comes in at 5 feet 11, 194 pounds. Um, he's a slot target who will catch and gain, what is available, but it's unlikely to do much beyond that. And so he has adequate quickness for Alabama's scheme, but isn't an explosive separator. He has the hands and toughness to work in the middle on the field, but we'll see diminishing catch windows the further he gets from the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have the speed or catch radius to help inaccurate passers, and he doesn't appear to have enough talent to shine outside of the Alabama juggernaut. And so those are some harsh words right there. I'm not gonna lie, some very harsh words right there. So obviously everything you get from him is purely going to be in the slot, guys. It's purely going to be in the slot. And so with that being said, let me take a look at let's see, Jovian Haline from or Halai from Coastal Carolina. Let's take a look at him. I don't like what I'm necessarily seeing there. Obviously, you've got Hunter Renfrow already, and so I know we did take a receiver earlier. So let us just take a quick look again. Okay, so so he comes in at 6 feet, 200 pounds. So already, bigger right there, has superb hip fluidity, I'm sorry, and understands coverage schemes well. His slim frame and lack of explosiveness will scare teams. Okay, so when it's all said and done, I know he can come in and play the slot there. And so, you look at what the Patriots did. They did run a lot of receivers out of the slot. I will say that. Bless me. But this is tough. This is tough. I'm not gonna lie. This is really tough because I've already got all of these positions pretty much. And so, do I trust my board here? I could go cornerback again. We could very well go guard, but I feel like right now we need to go ahead and get a receiver again. But do we really want to go ahead and get a slot receiver right now? You know what? Given the fact that Josh McDaniels is the head coach, I guess it would sort of make sense to get a guy that can come in there and run the slot, but you know exactly what you're getting from him with this pick. I don't know. This doesn't strike me as a Raiders type of pick, though. It really doesn't. If we don't go him, let's see if we can trade back, guys. Let's see if we can trade back. All right, so let's see, get 2 5th-round picks out of this. Oh, they declined. Boo. Okay, so I might go ahead and throw in a future 5th-round pick. All right. All right, so let's go to the next round. So, yeah, we ended up trading out of that one. I just was not too thrilled about taking Bolden from Bama at that point. We'll see how things play out this round. So now that we're in the 5th round, I feel a little bit better now about where, some of these guys currently are at. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we will take a second receiver here, but we'll take the kid from Coastal Carolina. Or let me just look at the board one more time here. And let's see what we got edge-wise, because edge-wise, I don't think we've Yeah, okay, so that's not happening. I'm not going to stretch yet. Now we could go and take one of these guys. Honestly, we could very well do that. Let's see what we got cornerback wise. Or maybe right now is a good time to go cornerback, probably. So let's see. Jermaine Waller. Let's see how I feel about him. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and see what they say about Jermaine Waller. And honestly, I mean, got the size, speed, length that you want. Let's go ahead and take him. So I like this. I like this. All right. So now that we moved back, now we went ahead and took him. We're back on the clock again. And so we've already got two cornerbacks here. So we could go ahead and get receiver again, or we could probably wait. I think we can probably wait on that. Now, edge wise, probably don't want to take one right now. We already got our center. Guard, we could get a guard right now, another guard. So we'll go ahead and take that. So we'll go guard with this one. All right, so here we are, still in the 5th round. And we could get a second receiver right now. You know, we could take another receiver, or we could possibly go edge at this point. Let's see. Now, Carice Jackson. Is that the route that we want to go? Or, I mean, they still have the edge up there. So the edge is still there. And we're picking back to back, guys. So, all right. So since we're picking back to back, I'm going to go ahead and we'll take Carice Jackson from Georgia. Okay. And then we're going to take my guy, Rambo from Miami. I like Rambo. I like his upside, guys. I really do. I cannot stress that enough. So I went ahead and took that position there. So, all right. So now that we got that, you know, I went ahead and addressed that receiver position as well. A lot of needs were met here. A lot of needs were met. And we still have some picks here left to where, you know, we can get us an edge rusher perhaps. All right. So, yeah, looking at that board, let's go ahead and let's get this started. We've got one pick in this one, and that's going to be the 17th pick. And so overall, looking at the guys that are remaining, that's going to play a huge role in this one. I'm going to go ahead and look and see who we got at edge. And so, okay, so at edge, we'll take this kid from USC. We'll go ahead and do that with the 6th pick there. So, all right, so we went ahead and went edge there. And so just to ensure that we did get the edge on the board. And so we've got one 7th round pick coming up here. And so we will see how that plays out for. I know they have quarterback listed as an area of need. I mean, behind Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, if he does leave for free agency, then perhaps we might actually possibly need a backup quarterback. So I'll look and see who's on the board. But if I don't see anybody that I like on the board, then we just won't do it. All right, so we are on the clock here. And so no, no, we're not taking any of these guys on the board right there. I just don't know. That's not happening. All right, so looking at what we've got now, I could go D lineman, the kid from Idaho here, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and go edge again. Now, Danny Gray from SMU. I mean, I already took 3 receivers in this draft, so I won't do that. But that's a kid that I'm definitely interested to see what happens with him. But Trey Williams. That's our pick, guys. That's the final pick I got there. So, all right, guys. So definitely appreciate you guys for, you know, coming through and joining me here on this here mock draft. And so obviously, you know, some mock draft there's with the computer. I mean, the AI does make the picks for the other teams and stuff like that. It had nothing to do with the other team picks there. But yeah, let's just say a lot of good players there. And hey, some of these guys that I see that's left on the board there, I mean, these are some pretty good guys, honestly. But yeah, so that's how the board kind of rolled out there. And I mean, looking back on it, a guy like Kenyon Green can come in there and honestly, he can help you out in so many ways. He can provide that flexibility on the offensive line. That's going to be huge. And then you got, a guy like Kyler Gordon from Washington, that can come in, play the slot, play outside. That's going to be huge. And then third round, I absolutely love this pick of Jordan Davis. Many, people have him being a first round pick there. So to get him in round 3, one heck of a steal. I had to trade up for him. This is the first time in a mock draft that I traded up. So getting a guy like him, Quay Walker, to be able to come in there and play linebacker, him, and even D'Angelo Malone, I feel like that's going to be huge there. At the wide receiver spot, I like the Calvin Austin, the third pick in the 4th round there. Jermaine Waller, this might be an underrated pick there, but it could certainly play out big there. Charleston Rambo. He comes in there, and I really love his potential, honestly. I do love his potential, especially where you can get him at in the draft. Really big on that pick there. Did get a couple more D linemen there. Jordan Pevy there. So some good stuff around, guys. But, of course, obviously, let me know your thoughts there because you guys, you're Raider Nation. You guys know what the team needs. So definitely let me know your thoughts on the pick there, guys. But really appreciate you guys for coming through there and joining me here for this mock draft there. And so, yeah, there was a lot of trades that were involved in this pick as well. But certainly when it was all said and done, guys, this is the board that we ended up with. And, yeah, these are some good names there. And I'm excited to see what you guys think about it. So thanks again for joining, and see you guys next time.